The Square Ball Podcast.
Welcome to the show, brought to you with Levi Solicitors. There is a 10% discount on your legal fees at levisolicitors.co.uk/the Square Ball. Dan Moylan here, hello, with Michael Normanton and Moscow White's Daniel Chapman. Let's do heroes and villains then. Someone what has done us good, someone what has done us bad over the last 7 days. The first bit is the Ken Bates Villain of the Week Award. Congratulations to Stuart Atwell. Right, the Gaetano Baraldi Hero of the Week Award, and so on and so forth. It is going to be Atwell. It is. But we will do a little bit of let's do a bit of foreplay before we get to the big moment.
All right, Ken Bates.
I was thinking about that in the first part of the show. You were talking about you were talking about slow build up, and I was thinking about Ken trying to thumb in one.
It's amazing how he haunts our thoughts, isn't it?
Jesus Christ. Right, Atwell. What have people had to say about him? There's a lot of libel in here. I mean, look.
Well, first of all, there's Dickie Wood almost libelling the Trinidadian pianist Winifred Atwell, because he clarified Atwell, Stuart, not Winnie, and I had to look her up. Didn't know.
I did as well. Jaunty piano is how I'd describe it.
Why don't you just ask me? I could have told you that.
Oh, yeah. What's your favourite Winnie Atwell song?
Tinkling on the Ivories.
Oh, it's a good one, that.
Yeah.
I'll cue some of that up on Spotify later and give that a listen. So some good will come out of Stuart Atwell's disgrace. So thank you, Dickie.
I love it when Winnie plays the old C scale.
Quite a few C's been dropped for Stuart Atwell, actually, as you mention it. But
useless character is mentioned.
Swine in the middle, pun intended, says Eldrick. Adsham says, hard to say he lost control of the game when he never had it from kickoff. Ruined an already poor game. Quite the achievement.
Yeah, I mean, everyone nominated Stuart Atwell. He's going to win it. You know, that's the end of this, isn't it, really? Some of the other runners and riders.
Well, I mean, the PGMOL, West Ham Ralph nominates them, saying refereeing standards in the league are so poor.
PGMOL is the so-called professional game match officials limited, isn't it? That's what it stands for. They appoint the referees. It's part owned by the Premier League.
Needs an overhaul of the entire system, which it does. And in fairness, I think...
Is it Howard Webber's coming in? Is he coming in to take charge of it soon?
Yeah, they're bringing him back from...
He's in the States, isn't he?
Yeah. So maybe he'll
make it better.
Do an all-star ref game, something like that. That'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it?
Put them in jazzier outfits.
Pom-poms.
Yeah. I dig it.
I would improve that, because that would be the whole watching a yellow card being given from out of a pom-pom. With the rustling sound as well.
Are they going to be dressed fully as cheerleaders? It's like something Sepp Blatter had come up with this.
Plenty of dislike for Sky Sports as well, both within the ground. There was some of that going on, and people complaining of bias here, and Bielsa Sai suggesting that Andy Hinchcliffe, who was doing the co-commentary there on Sky, is an absolute character. And it was Boney M who suggested that Hinchcliffe needed a Llorente-style lobotomy.
He also, I'll back Boney M, because he's backing me on what Roy Keane was saying after the game, missing the point on the red card. Get in the fucking sea, you wank bastard, says Boney.
Great. McGinn gets a couple of nominations. This is a good one from Philip, because you were on about McGinn's features, which is it's a very cheap shot.
It is, but so what? It says McGinn, who looks like he wears a McGinn mask over his stupid McGinn face. Dirty little shite.
I was really confused. I looked, TSB Plus members will already have read this in the email on Monday evening, but Craig Hope in the Daily Mail went full journalist, Lampard-loving journalist, about Steven Gerrard. There is a lot to like about Gerrard, and the feeling remains that he will be a very good manager. But will that be at Villa? His team needs to be more ruthless, which is the whole thing about, Gerrard's a good manager, it's the team are no good for him. But he... the
Lampard
He
thing,
did.
basically.
He did allow a bit of a question. He then said that he copied Gerrard's talking point about it was ironic that one of the tactics Leeds employed was understandably wasting time. Ironic in that they'd been so irked by Villa. We had 10 players. No bets. Anyway.
Well done, Stu, apparently, he said in the comments. Is that right?
Yeah, yes, he did. He said he got everything right.
Irish and Annoyed has flagged this up, thank you.
Anyway, to finish on this, he does allow a little bit of criticism of Gerrard's style, where he says the way that they set up to eat time was somewhat bizarre. This was the all-white of Leeds they were playing, not Real Madrid. Surely, a team with the supposed attacking talent of Coutinho, Watkins and John McGinn should show a little more faith in their ability.
He wouldn't be the third on your list, would he?
You were naming great attackers of Premier League football: Coutinho, Haaland, John McGinn.
It's right, though, isn't it? Like you see, talking before about, only one club outside the top 6 has got more than 2 wins. The value of wins in the Premier League is massive. Try getting some. Especially when you've spent half a billion.
Let John McGinn go out there and express himself. Give him the ball. Let him dance through the defences the way that we've always associated over the years with those great John McGinn teams.
It's weird that McGinn has got all this footballing ability and is known mainly as a footballer, but the 2 nominations are both for his face because Jack has also nominated him for that. So it's unfortunate for him, really.
Yeah, there were an assortment of other Villa nominations, including Ashley Young and Tyrone Mings happily laughing with the referee, knowing they're just getting away with it. So, yeah, fair shout on that.
We've had Lionel Richie has been in touch, who's nominated.
Hello, Lionel. Hello.
The Family Stand Parrots. To mix it up from all the ref nominations, I'm going to nominate this little prick. For years, this kid, he's nominated a child. This kid has sat behind me who repeats whatever anyone in the crowd says in a stupid, screaming, prepubescent voice right in my ear. Stupid idiot referee was the highlight of the last game.
So he's not repeating me anyway, because I'm in the East, and I was saying far worse than that.
Well, you shouldn't be, because it's setting a bad example.
Can you hear this, parrot?
What I tend to do is I tend to try and reserve my swearing for when everybody else is getting annoyed, so I don't stand out as an absolute animal.
Do you think it might actually be a parrot?
It might be. Well, it might be
looking after concessions.
Looking after the big sexy pirates parrot. You never know. Maybe no. It's technically family.
You and Phil Hay have both received nominations down for similar sorts of things.
People are so
basically
miserable though. Like, what's wrong with why tempt fate? Asks House of Stouts. Well, it's not about tempting fate, isn't it? It's about talking about the ebbs and flows of the game. You can't predict what's going to come next, but you can talk about what's happened.
To clarify, the nomination is for tweeting that Sinistera had the source at halftime.
Which I did say. I did a coward's thing and deleted it.
I was going to say I'd nominate you for being such a spineless little twat that you've had to delete it.
But the reason why I delete that is because people go, look, you jinxed it. I can't be bothered. I can't be bothered.
He brings up...
at least no one's mentioned it since.
House of Stouts brings up that it's like me saying that Newcastle would never win a game again. At least I stood by that.
Yeah, and also...
Let that be a lesson to you, Myron.
tongue in cheek as well.
Stand by your strongly held opinions. And I still...
Newcastle are 7th at the moment. Do you think they're going to end the season on 11 points?
Well, they're not going to be playing against 10-man Fulham every week, so I'm not sure where they're next. Who are they playing next?
I don't know.
I mean, they'll probably get a knock back, and then it's hard to see where the next win's coming from. Chris Wood up front's only going to work for so long, isn't it?
Talking about the libel laws, Boney M has pointed out that the libel laws have hindered us from reading out the vast majority of what people had to say about Atwell.
Newcastle play Brentford next, by the way, which must be a cup game, League Cup game or something.
Thomas Frank will have them up for that.
Can't be Premier League.
I don't think Newcastle will cope very well.
Yeah, it was weird that, wasn't it? Did you see on the slot where Match of the Day was supposed to be the other night? Was it Brentford against Bournemouth on the telly? Like a League One fixture instead of
Papa John's action on Match of the Day.
Odd. Anyway, congratulations, Stuart Atwell. See you again soon, no doubt. Villain of the week. The Gaetano Baradi Hero of the Week. We like to finish on a positive. Somebody who has brought us joy over the last 7 days. Nominations, please. Who have we got? Well, I mean, somebody do Bielsa Sai say nobody.
Bielsa Sai said no one, which is,
feels harsh.
It does feel like it wasn't.
Players.
We got a point, didn't we? So it can't have been a complete disaster. I mean, the people, for weight of nominations, I think Click is actually probably there, which considering he was only on the pitch for like 15, 20 minutes or whatever, is some going.
He's maybe a candidate for starting, isn't he? But I wonder if there's, because as pleasant as Aronson is and is going to be, 21, isn't he? So he's around the same age as Gelhardt, and it's not a straight line player development and adaptation, isn't it? So if Click is coming off the bench and playing well, there's an argument for him starting a game over Aronson. But then there's also their competing World Cup hopes, and maybe I'm reading too much into this, but Marsh will want Aronson to play at the World Cup for USA more than Click to play for Poland. Does that come into the thinking? Maybe, probably
I don't think
not.
so. I think Aronson is more or less guaranteed to start from my
because
reading.
They want USA to win the World Cup.
My reading of
to
US
beat
MNT
England
stuff
in the group. Yeah, but if he doesn't play between now and
he's going to play. He was our big summer signing.
Yeah, but for the USA, if he don't play between now and the World Cup, then I don't think he's in the World Cup.
I think Click as well shows that he's a good person to bring off the bench, because he's able to watch a game, it seems, and go, if I just do a bit of this, that'll work in one way or another, either to make the football better as he did against Wolves, or to just annoy the shit out of people like he did against Chelsea and Villa.
It can work the other way, because I know in the League Cup game when Aronson was on the bench and him and Rocker went and warmed up in front of the Kop, They completely misunderstood where they're supposed to be standing as substitutes. And a coach went out, and I thought he was going to move them from there, but instead he got them next to the corner flag, and they were having a big tactical chat, and he was pointing things out on the pitch as well. So it can sometimes help. I know they do video work for that, but maybe Aronson on the bench for a game while Click starts, and goes, I'll see what Click he's doing. It's all things like if we have a big squad, it's like with Joffrey not being in the team, we've got a big squad, so not every player's going to play every game. So if Click's playing well, he's a hero anyway.
These youngsters, none of them are going to play when Matteo Joseph fully gets his spurs.
And just to clarify, I'm sure that Jesse Marsch is not deliberately trying to short-circuit Matthew Click's attempts to play the World Cup just to benefit the US men's national team. I'm just trying to scope out all the different, because there are a lot of like little subplots there, and it is a big, it could be a reason for some players being in form and not in form when they've got half an eye on the World Cup at the moment. All of that is kind of in the background of things, but I don't think it's going to be as big as Jesse Marsch is trying to engineer a USA defeating England so that
anyway,
Aronson has to play.
Sam was pointing out that Matteo Joseph's doing dead good for the 21s, and he's a candidate for the hero-ship this week, and Haaland as well. Who, if you look at Haaland, and my mate texted me, he says he reminds him of a centaur. Kind of carries himself like a centaur. If he had a horse's torso under his top half, you wouldn't be surprised, would you?
Did we talk about him whacking the Wolves player off the ball the other week? I don't think I've been on since I enjoyed that bit of video. Somebody, I can't remember who it is, but he's running through the middle, and the defender tries to tuck his shirt. So Haaland, as they're running towards the penalty area, kind of whacks his hand off him and then pretty much smacks him on the arse and then shoves him on the shoulder to get rid of him, basically. And it's like him just swatting him off. But there is a specific just like smacked behind aspect to it. Like, you touch me, you have that, get off me. And you just don't see. The referee, I think, spots it and is like, I'm not going to let you do that. If the ball comes, I'm going to blow for a foul. But you just don't get other players that strong that they just like, as they are running, they are spanking other players for trying to get close to them and pushing them away.
Original Ronaldo was a bit like that in his pomp. He'd he'd just see a little gap, like an inch gap between two defenders, and just bomb through it, and they just skittle to either side. He was good at that.
This is the reason why he doesn't have bouncers when he goes around walking in central Manchester, because no one's going to mess with him.
It's the act of turning round while still running faster than most of the players into a penalty area to basically just two-handed shove a player off and just send them reeling off towards the far touchline. He's an extraordinary soul. I feel like we've talked about him a lot this week, but he's fascinating.
Let's talk about our own number 9. I think Adsham's tongue might be planted firmly in cheek.
Better than Haaland.
Nominates Bamford for surviving unscathed, a miracle in itself. But we don't know that for sure yet.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't get through the week, did he? He got through the 20 minutes.
We all thought he was unscathed ahead of the game, didn't we? But turns out not. Cooper did seem to come through all right, though. He received many nominations as well. As how are we going? Stanos? But a couple of mistakes, but nothing that can't be put down to rustiness. But yeah, there were a few bits early on, but there was also a bit early on where he headed a corner clear and then did a big shout, which, as anyone who's ever played, even at non-league football, you need a centre-back who shouts, "Out!" As soon as he heads the ball, and Cooper does that well.
They seem to be combining. Robin Koch's got some nominations as well. Matt W, Ralph at Scrooge. They seem to be combining quite well. There was not the confusion that we perhaps saw with Llorente and Koch at Brentford that led to 17 goals. It seemed very clear who was attacking what ball, and even if it was they were both going for it, it got sorted out early who was going for it and who was dropping. They seemed to have a grip of that much better than when it was Koch and Llorente. And there was because Koch got quite harshly treated at Brentford because there was the one that he flicked on, and then the one where Llorente sort of went for the ball that he had covered on the halfway line made him look terrible. I think Cooper helped make him look as good as he actually is.
Just on Ayling, actually, Stuart Atwell's shiny anus has been in touch to suggest Luke Ayling Dark Knight needs a nomination for his vigilante work.
Yeah, I mean, he did get several nominations, but they were all pretty much for his mask. Sol nominates Luke Crabfeeder Ayling. Anyone know what that's a reference to?
Have we just
is that an Urban Dictionary thing?
Probably the kind of thing that you need to check before
Probably, yeah.
Saying it out loud.
For being only a ball gag away from a successful OnlyFans channel, which Suggests what Sol's been browsing there.
Oh, Crab Feeder seems to be a character in some sort of Tits and Dragons TV stuff. The World of Fire and Ice.
Thank goodness,
books.
I thought it might be something from like a Berlin nightclub.
Game of Thrones.
Kragestraha.
You will be the crab feeder for this evening. Oh no, it's not my turn again, is it?
There you go.
But yeah, he
If you are going to make a
there,
modern
wasn't he?
reference, could you just like put an asterisk so we know to consult a youth?
Yeah, look, there you go. There's a picture of Crab Feeder.
Oh, okay.
With a mask on.
Oh, all right.
We'll get that one popped onto the video so you can see what the reference is pertaining to.
He defended like a nightmare, though, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He just kept making the same mistake. He kept running full pelt and then just getting turned.
I suppose you can when there's three at the back. Got a bit more security behind you. And it was kind of the one bit of attacking we had was Ayling and Firpo. Once we've gotten to that formation, it's like if they can bomb forward, then that'll work. But he did seem to get. Maybe he just looked caught out. Maybe it was actually
He was caught out.
Who was on that side? It was
I was.
But in our defence,
Oh,
He had been cock,
so
I guess.
Yeah.
Robin probably had it all covered. But just the way that Ayling with his mask on, kind of. Oh no! Made it look a lot worse than it was, and then Robin's just like, "No, it is okay, Luke. I have the situation all in hand."
Well, speaking of physical comedy, Junior Firpo got a couple of hero
Similar
nominations
thing,
as well.
similar thing.
Scrooge says, Firpo? Was Firpo good?
Have this situation all in hand. I'm going to give it straight to John McGinn.
He didn't get a book or do anything that made my arsehole close up. So well done for that.
Yeah, I don't think
let
he
it
was.
flow.
It was Scrooge just fully dilated.
I don't think he was very good.
He was fine, I suppose, wasn't he?
Yeah, he put us under. I suppose trying to find an outball when you are under the cosh with 10 players is difficult.
But the centre of the pitch, low down, probably ain't the place to go.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think he kicked
Just
that
because
properly,
there's no
did
players down the wings doesn't mean you can't just boot the player there to relieve the pressure.
he?
Yeah.
Rocky got some nominations as well, who did some good passes.
Yeah.
And did attempt to kill a man.
It's a shame he can't last a full game, isn't it, really?
Yeah, I think he was hooked, as it was pointed out here by Boney M, that he should have stayed on, but the fact he was on a yellow in that atmosphere was the main factor he came off.
There's a combination of that and his fitness. Has he finished 190?
Yeah, but I was definitely thinking probably get him off because we can't afford another yellow card leading to another red card and find ourselves down to 9. And given that he had got suckered into that attempting to stamp on Ollie Watkins' chest, I think it was, wasn't it? That probably just get him off.
Ollie Watkins had it coming. Nonto gets a nomination from Jimmy Walker because he liked seeing him get his FIFA ratings. That was good. But his sniggering at Somerville getting 69 as his rating was nice. Did you see that? He just went, and you realise that he is basically a kid, which is quite sweet.
I might have said before, my 11-year-old finds the number 69 indescribably funny. So that's about the level that we're at with all that. Yes, who's your hero of the week then?
Captain, give it the Coops.
Click.
Come back and we got let's give it to Liam because he's come back, clean sheet, big commanding performance. There's your League One Liam. And we've been hoping he would come back and help things. And he's a bit like
Shouting.
He's good shouting, and he can set a good example to Pat Bamford as well. If you just don't keep getting injured, and you can play really well, and you get a hero award from the square ball, which I know is something that Pat Bamford would treasure.
Excellent. So well done, Captain Coops. That wraps up the weekly show for this week. We'll be back on the Phil Hay Show back end of the week. That'll be Friday afternoon. Post Jess conference, and we'll do the extra ball as well with Rob, find out what it was like in Castellon, among other things. We'll speak to you soon.
The Square Ball Podcast.